Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching this podcast. This is the 80/20 Performance Podcast by me, Matthew Lambert.
I started Horizontal about 25 years ago. Prior to that, I've about 3 decades of consulting experience.
And somehow this man here has convinced me to come to some crazy startup. I remember after a few months sitting in a room thinking, what have I done? Like, no one would take my call. Like, we didn't have it. But, we built it up slowly. And post-COVID, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've got a compound annual growth rate of 114%.
How does the 80/20 model work for you?
Our model is to go for the other version. Say, look, we're not necessarily here to lower the cost of your resource. We're here to change the outcome of your project. 80% of the culture is really driven by a core of people.
You're not just practicing a trade. You're learning much more than that, from people to process to different systems to different disciplines. Those are sort of 20% of the core attributes for us that drive that 80% rule. Everything else sort of is a byproduct. It trickles from there as long as you maintain those principles when you're driving the organization.
Giving people what they want across time, across channel, across device, personalized, co-created products. It's that consumption experience, that customer experience that changes their behavior.
George, what would you say to the students of the future?
3 things. The great myth is that business is boring. Business is not boring. Pick a profession, pick an industry, pick an organization where you feel there's going to be plenty of opportunities. Everything you want is on the other side of fear and hard work.
You need the energy to get up in the morning. You need that enthusiasm because it's infectious. But you need the empathy to put yourself in the shoes of the other person, right?
The worst it gets for you is probably the best it'll ever get for some people.
You less and less have to meet the computer on language it understands, and more it's beginning to meet you and understand what you're saying. There were 2 philosophers that defined the Industrial Revolution. Yeah. One was Karl Marx, one was Adam Smith. One said it was good, one said it was bad, but they both said the same things. If you want to make money in an industrial economy, you own the means of production. You buy a factory, lots of capital, throw lots of people into it, economies of scale, that's how you make money.